thank you for joining together for our meeting today, or for our discussion. And Trish came to us with her presenting problem, and I would like to... Where would the group like to start? Trish, would you like to start us off?
Yes. Well, you know, I'm an intern at Belmont Housing, where I work directly with the senior specialists, and my job is to, you know, contact the clients, a lot of data entry, and a problem that I came upon. Can you hear me, Faith?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go grab my AirPods really quick. So you can keep talking.
So the problem that I had is a client had called in, a new client, and originally they have 60 days to find an apartment, or they will lose their voucher. Well, this particular housing specialist that I work directly with let them know. Technically, the client has
Okay, now we're good. I am so sorry, guys.
to find an apartment. If they don't, they have to request another 30 days, which gives them 60. Well, this client received a threatening voice message stating that he would lose his voucher within 30 days. And he was very concerned, so I had to, you know, calm him down and remind him of what took place in his orientation. And then I advised him, but the problem that I'm running into is there is the hierarchy in there is nepotism. And the supervisors, they're all, you know, family and friends. And so I'm having a bit of a problem, you know, trying to wrap my mind around how to handle the situation, because I really don't think nothing will be done even if I address it, because it's been a long-standing thing.
So just for clarification, did you say it was your supervisor, the person you work with, that left the voicemail, or the client?
The person that I work with.
Okay.
She left it.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, what are your best hopes for this consultation?
I'm hoping that I can get some clarity, some direction in how to go about it. Because even when I approached her, because of other documentation I saw in the system that she made, she shrugged it off. You know, oh well. So it's the attitude, and when you're dealing with people like that, you know, there's no point of continuing that conversation with them. So I'm hoping to get some type of instructions how I can handle this, because it's very difficult.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Have you done anything up until this point to address it? I know you said you sort of brought it up, but I guess how did that go?
Well, I know that there's some coworkers that work directly with her, and they mentioned it to me because they saw the documentation, and they just said, you know, nothing's going to become of it. And so they've been there for quite some time, and my angle is really trying to get to my supervisor, who is the vice president, which I believe I'm going to be doing next week.
Okay.
Oh.
You know, seeing if she could do aware of what's going on.
So that's kind of like the next small step then, right?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. So that's actually also something that you're doing that's already on track, I would say, as well, because you're taking initiative and moving forward, trying to go to the, you know, next person that could help out.
Right. Yes, I am. However, I still don't see that as being the end result, because it's structured in the system. You know, vice president. She's a beautiful person, but she's always in her office on the phone, on the computer. You know, and I just don't think that nothing's going to be done about it, while the clients suffer, you know, at the hand of people who are disingenuous.
Yeah. How does the group feel about the supervisor's kind of disconnect from the client and their situation.
I feel like it's so relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's honestly like really sad. I feel like this is something that pops up so many times in social work.
Yeah. And I feel like with organizations, like you said, with the same people working and cultivating a culture around it, it's hard to kind of go against the grain of that culture that's in that organization. So what are your best hopes for this situation?
I'm hoping that, because they do have it in their policy, you know, about, you know, your ability to get the promotion, that they actually follow it. Because that's going to bring cohesiveness, you know, within the structure in itself, with the staff. And when the staff is at a better mind frame, then they can deliver the proper services, you know, without being hindered, you know, by their emotions.
Mm-hmm. And are the clients aware of these policies as well, or are they kind of not really?
No,
they're not. Okay.
So I sense a kind of a common theme among all the group members today, with their social work field placements being kind of hierarchical or somewhat disconnected from their client systems. Am I reading that right?
Yes.
Kind of answered a lot of these in multiple parts, because I was thinking, you sort of touched on that it would like increase the cohesiveness of the organization in terms of like if it were to be solved. Is there anything beyond just like the staff cohesion? How do you think the clients would react if this problem was resolved?
That's a good question, because by them not really knowing what is going on, they think everything is well. And so if they knew about it and it was resolved, I think they would feel much more comfortable in working, you know, with the specialists. Because sometimes we have, you know, some of the clients requesting not to have that particular specialist for whatever reason.
I mean, honestly, it seems to me like they may not know the specifics of the situation, but it seems like there is that like unspoken tension that's created possibly because of these things. So I definitely think it's very interesting.
Yeah, and that was the thing with the threatening message. You know, is your tone, is how you deliver it, is what I mean. She was correct, but it was the way that she delivered it, and she didn't explain, didn't refresh him on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what would be different for you if the best hopes came true?
I would feel that the clients are receiving everything that they need to, that they came there for, that's allotted to them. It would make me feel, knowing that I could be the one who have to walk through that door one day. You just never know. And I want to, you know that, you know, I'm going to be treated fair.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a fairness, you know, because the funds don't belong to us, don't come out of our pockets, in a sense.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question and then a follow-up question?
Sure.
Okay. No one asked the scaling question yet, right?
Nope.
Correct.
Okay. So on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 stands for your confidence in, I guess, any improvement in this issue before your time at the agency ends, where are you right now?
I'm at a 2.
A 2.
Yeah.
And my follow-up question is, how do you think that you will feel, let's say, best case scenario, after your meeting next week with your supervisor, reality supervisor?
How would I feel?
How do you think that maybe like that first small step could, do you think that the first small step could increase that number at all? Like that meeting with your supervisor? Or is there like a lot of, you know, because obviously there's no judgment about this if there is, but is there more of like a sense of hopelessness because of how much of the situation is like a bigger picture thing?
Well, I think from the perspective of using social work terminology, social solution functionism is one of them. Social theory. I think if if I approach her in that frame instead of just complaining, I don't want to complain. I want to be effective in my delivery because, of course, she's a social worker. She came from here, so she knows the deal.
Absolutely.
So I think if I approach it there, maybe there will be some resolve. That's my whole.
So you might increase on the scale, maybe getting towards feeling good about it.
Yes,
That's
with
good.
that question, Faith. Thank you.
Sorry to redirect back.
Do you feel as if your approach would be trauma informed?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
That's good.
Absolutely. Because they're, the other specialists, they're bothered, and it's not, they don't have to say anything. You can just watch their body language. Body language tells a lot. And so that's what I see most of the time.
Bothered by the individual?
System.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the system already doing that's on track, would you say? If any.
Yeah.
If any, you can say none.
Same thought.
I really don't think nothing. And the reason why is because I don't know how long it's been going on, but it's been going on long enough for, for them to display their actions, in front of an intern, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're very comfortable with it.
That's such a good point. I feel like that's such a good distinction.
Yeah.
Like they can't hide it that closely. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Trish, especially. But we are going to be moving on to our next phase. Okay, everyone. Thank you again. So we will be moving on to our wonderment phase, and we are just going to be focusing on amplifying what is working in Trish's situation and how we can connect and empower her. So, would anyone like to start us off?
I can. There were a bunch of things throughout her description of her placement that definitely left me with some questions. I think the one that stood the most out to me is that as an intern, because it seems like she's not the only one who's uncomfortable with the situation. I'm curious to see, or rather I wonder how the responsibility of addressing this fell to her, because it doesn't really seem like it should be her responsibility to deal with that.
Yeah.
But
I wonder. Sorry.
No, you're good. That was it.
Okay. I was gonna say, jumping off of that, I wonder if she has talked to any, I don't know, obviously her role as an intern and, who she interacts with, but I wonder if she's talked to any, full-time employees there about it and, if they have any opinions on it.
Or if
Stuff like
they
that.
might have brought up this issue previously in some way.
As it was
Touching
Right.
on the nature of nepotism, maybe not directly addressing this exact issue, but maybe somehow discussing these ideas. I wonder if this agency has heard it before.
Yeah.
And I also was wondering, with this specific policy, the agency's not following on it, and I think Trish did a good job of describing it, but also alluding at the agency's probably not abiding to other policies as well, and I wonder what those policies are and how they impact the client besides just this one too. And I think Trish did a really good job of sorry, I almost went to the compliment phase.
I was.
Go ahead.
Can I jump in really quick before I forget this?
Please do.
I was gonna say, I feel like this is a really tough situation, especially as an intern. It's the kind of situation that even as a full-time employee, it's just tough to make a change, especially when we talked about it being basically likely a systemic issue. So I find it again, I'm trying not to go into the compliment phase either, but I just find it admirable that Trish is still, exploring the idea regardless of the difficulties of the situation. And I love that she's focused on staying solution focused. Because it's easy to be like, this is too much for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what is working is Trish is working.
Yes.
Trish is working.
Trish is working.
She's working hard. And to connect all things, just to connect things that are possible. I mean, talking to your supervisor, I think, is a great step, a great first step. And the fact that they're so high up with vice president, again, I wonder if they've already kind of aware of this, and I wonder how their reaction is going to be after. And I feel like Trish going into it with like a set way of describing the issue is going to help a lot. Like, instead of just like, I think her awareness of it possibly being perceived as complaining will help her cause.
Yeah.
And like, I think using a framework to approach the conversation will be very successful. And I can see if they're another social worker, they should probably understand, like, okay, maybe I should start to address this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remembered another thing, sort of to tie back to what I asked about how the clients would react to the situation, and it really was interesting that it doesn't even seem like the clients are like explicitly aware of it.
Yeah.
But, like, I really wonder how that tension of like threatening communication or things like that, how that has like degraded the service quality that they've been able to offer for who knows how long. Like, I just think that that's like a really concerning thing to think about, where it seems like this was a lasting issue and they're not really addressing it, and clients aren't able to directly call it out because they may not know it as anything else.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say. I think it's really interesting the agency is not transparent with their policies. Like, I think that transparency could be really helpful for both the workers and the clients, because it holds the workers accountable and makes it clear to everybody we all have to abide by these rules. Like, not just Trish, who reads the rule book, but everybody has to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like the organization would benefit for something like that.
Is that,
Agreed.
would anyone like to add anything else before we move on to the next phase?
I think I'm all set.
All set? Okay. Well, thank you, everyone.
Okay.
We'll be moving on to the compliment phase.
I love how they give us options of compliments. Like, Lawrence has worked very hard.
Can I raise my hand?
Yes.
We can't
Okay.
see
Well,
it.
have we moved on yet, or no?
We haven't quite started it, I don't think.
Okay. I guess when we start, I'll raise my hand.
Just call on her
Okay,
first.
perfect.
Compliment
Okay.
phase? Okay.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, Faith has a question. I mean, Faith.
Oh,
would
no,
like-
it wasn't a question. I just wanted to start.
Faith would like to compliment Trish first. Go ahead, Faith.
I would love to.
I love the
Trish,
encouragement.
yes, I have lots of enthusiasm about this. Trish, I think that you are amazing in this because it is not something that an intern should have to take on, and I love how focused you are on meeting the client's needs and making sure that they are taken care of. I just really respect that a lot, and it shows where your values lie.
Thank you.
One thing that I really wanted to commend you on was your ability to like stay level-headed in the situation. Like, I think when you framed it as not wanting to go in with a complaint, but as like addressing the policy, like that was really impactful, because a lot of times I think people get caught up in that sort of like complaint mindset, and then all of what they're trying to say is lost because it just becomes like a defensive argument. So like trying to stay rooted in like the policy and the facts of the situation, I think, is really important, and it really shows how like well and how thoughtful you have been about the situation.
Yeah. And I think I commend your drive to address this. I think, like you said, I loved when you said I was the one who walked in and like can change this environment. And I think having that mindset is really amazing, to like see all these people stuck in a rut and to kind of be like, come on guys, come back to our mission, and like I can see you're a change maker. So like I think that's really great. Yeah, no, and you're positive, and you wanting to be so careful about your words, like Riley kind of said, and like doing it in a delicate way that centers the client and is attempting to help the agency rather than criticize the agency, I think is really great.
Of course. And,
Love that.
And Trish, I would also like to commend you in your efforts. I think that knowing the kind of organizational structure and possibly having that intimidation from people who have not only been there for a while, but who are higher up, or it's intimidating. And I think that you seeing the situation as it is and wanting to change it is admirable. So thank you. And would anybody else like to throw in a last compliment for Trish?
I didn't do my first part on that last section. The question is to the presenter.
Oh,
we're not
no,
we're
that's
just-
the next section. That's the next section.
Sorry.
Well, you're good. Probably
It's
already.
6:30. Do
Yeah,
we
well-
have to go?
No, she'll come in here.
Okay.
And then we'll tell her we're wrapping
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Alrighty,
Sounds good.
So,
We got like 2 minutes left. We're good.
yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say it's not too bad. It's just the last section.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Can I say something really quick? This has been the most like smooth flowing group we've had. So
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
Because
Well,
no one
sorry.
came in.
Yeah, the no interruptions.
Yeah,
No
okay.
interruptions helps.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, everyone. Next and last, we will be moving into the debriefing portion of today's group session. How was this for everyone? How was this group session for everyone?
Well,
I thought it was great.
Good.
Sorry.
Great,
Glad to hear
babe.
that. Glad to hear that.
I thought it was great. I feel like I said earlier, I think this issue is super, layered, and one that you hear happening not even just in the social work field, but a lot of other fields as well. And it's a super complicated issue to explore, but I think that, we really kind of were able to focus in on what Trish is able to do, and that we made some, I think, achievable next steps, That's a way to put it.
I think
Trish, please let Trish speak.
Before I forget.
She got cut off by Faith. She's got
Trish, I'm
speak.
so sorry.
You
No, it's not
raise
your
your
fault.
hand, Faith.
I'm so sorry.
No, I
Just
just
yell at
had
me. I'm sorry. I can't hear anything like that.
No, it's okay.
I think that I feel a lot more confident in addressing it now.
Yay.
Because of your feedback, as you're exploring the situation with me, I felt like you were in it with me, so that gives me more confidence. I mean, I know I'm built for it, but sometimes because of this touchy situation, you can get kind of off track, but you gave me a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the
That's
word.
good. I'm happy to hear that.
Can I go now?
Yes.
Sorry. Something that really stood out to me about this one, and I think it's been there in some of the other ones, but it really stood out to me today, was how a lot of us would ask something or say something, and then somebody else would have like an immediate add on to it, or furthering the question or furthering the statement. I thought that was really nice for a situation like this, because it just builds a lot to the conversation and gives a lot of different insight and different perspective. So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I think I liked, Trish, the topic you brought to us. I feel like it's a very real one that I haven't experienced in field, and I wish I was able to give more insight into nepotism and that kind of construct, because I haven't been in an organization like that, and I feel like I'm glad we got to talk about it and kind of have a little think about it, and then I'm excited to see what comes of when you talk to your supervisor next week of what are the results of that. And yeah, I think this group was the smoothest one, as Faith said.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
And then how was this for you?
I would have to agree with you. I think that despite our little setup situation. This group has been very productive and very smooth in terms of transitioning between one stage and another. I think that everyone provided very good feedback. Nobody was talking over one another. And I just want to appreciate you all for being here today. So thank you. Thank you for your time. And Trish, above all, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yay! We should end everyone will clap. Clap.
Thank you guys.
Now, my next question is for the reflection. Yeah, as a presenter.
Let me stop the recording.